As we learned at San Diego Comic-Con, a small slate seems to be what they had in store for Phase 4, but Kevin Feige did come out and say that's not it. They already have the next 5 years figured out, and it looks like we might get the announcement at some point in the future, but not as soon as you guys might want it. It was about 6 years ago that Kevin Feige said he had a giant roadmap for the future of the MCU. Up to about 10 years at any given moment, and 5 years was sort of what was planned. And additionally, he already had contingency plans for other franchises, such as Spider-Man. Spider-Man was luckily the one that actually ended up kind of throwing everything out of order, but he got added to the MCU. And at the time, he said he had plans for Fantastic Four and X-Men, and some ideas of how to introduce them in there, whether they drop tomorrow or a couple years from now or down the road. And obviously down the road now is the one that ended up happening. So him doing the interview rounds saying that he already knows what the next 5 years are guaranteed, and on top of that knows what the next entire phase is, I think right now you start to understand that they're playing the long game again. And it's kind of like, almost like a reboot of the MCU. Endgame ended it, now we're going to take it back to basics. New characters, familiar characters, we're going to move forward, we're going to introduce you to the new MCU so we can pave the way for the next 10 years. And just by looking at it, you have 2 years that they're focusing on with that entire Phase 4 slate. That's not a lot. That's another 8 years that they haven't announced, and specifically the next 3 that they know what they are, but they haven't revealed. And at any moment, as I've said in other videos, if they come up with a good idea to fast track something, it's probably going to pop up in the next phase. Now, when they announce this phase, I think that's the interesting one. I'm not expecting it next year at San Diego because they just announced this, but I think you can expect it in 2021, when we're about halfway through the phase and we've already gotten the multiverse film with Doctor Strange. You come to San Diego, you go, so you guys all saw those, right? All the shows? Yeah, check out the next couple years. And that's when you reveal what's coming out and what's been built up. Because to me, that's a smart marketing strategy. Never again should they come out and announce the next 5 years, because that derails everything from a standpoint of marketing. And that's largely what kind of affected Phase 2 a little bit more negatively than probably what they would have wanted.